Hey everybody, this is me, the Undead Viking, and this is Metal Minds. Now the idea behind Metal Minds is, well, it's a card game, and the idea behind Metal Minds is that each player is an indentured servant, if you will, to a giant soulless corporation that did radical experiments upon them with really strange and dangerous, like, metal isotopes that gave them special powers and abilities beyond that of the normal man, if you will. And so, because they elected to have these procedures done to them and got these powers, then you can't really, like, not a lot of people could pay for them, so to speak. And so you and the other hapless people at the table have signed up and basically given away 10 years of your life to be able to have these abilities. And so the corporations then, of course, are just, like, as my grandfather would say, beating you like a rented mule. So, and what happens is that the corporations find out about these massive powers, these massive energy crystals that are called rift orbs, and they desperately want to get a hold of them. So they send out all of their like crazy, radical mutants or whatever, and are attempting to collect those rift orbs as quickly as possible. And whichever one of these Metal Minds people manages to do the best job of collecting that will get the rest of their indentured servitude wiped clean. And so obviously then everybody, the dream of being free and having all these powers and abilities is right at the forefront of their mind, and that's where the rivalry between you and everybody else at the table comes from. So it is very thematic. I kind of dug the theme a little bit. I mean, obviously they probably could have gone any which way with the theme, and you could probably, as I'm showing you how to play, figure out how they could have done that. But I dig the art, I dig the method that they're doing, and I kind of like the idea of each person, maybe not exactly bad people, but the fact is that there can only be one winner, and you definitely want to be that one winner, if you will. So, alright, so the game is not complex. The rules are very, very straightforward, but there's a lot of things going on with the different cards and a lot of different things that you can do. And like as the rule book itself says, it is a very simple game, but getting the nuances down is going to take you multiple plays. So let me show you how Metal Minds goes, and then we'll come back here and I'll give you my final thoughts. Alright, cool. This is Metal Minds, and Metal Minds is one of those games that is very quick and easy to learn how to play, but as far as like mastering the game and becoming adept at its nuances, it does take a little bit of time. So just very quickly, this is how you play. Each person is going to get one of these boards. They're going to use these markers, these pawns, and this little red gem to keep track of all the resources that they have access to. And also the red gem is the rift orbs that I mentioned earlier. Is you climb the ladder and you create rift orbs. You'll notice that the 8, 9, and 10 are kind of in a yellow color as opposed to the white. As soon as somebody reaches 8 rift orbs, technically they could possibly win. However, if everybody gets the same number of turns, so like if the first player gets to 8 first, then everybody else can try to catch up or get ahead of them on their turn. And then, of course, if there's a tiebreaker, then the people that are tied will continue to play another round and so forth until one person has the lead. So, to begin the game, each person will be given an agent card at random. They come in 3 different types of agents. There's a copper mine agent, a silver mine agent, and an iron mine agent. Now, all of these have their own special like abilities and powers, and they have things that they're good at, like transmutation or creating rift orbs from things, from resources and things like that. And so the most important thing is, well, 3 things I should say are the most important things. They have the hand size, which is 4, that you like after you start your turn, you're going to have to discard down to 4 when you go to your limit phase of your turn, something I'll explain in just a moment. And they also have a line limit, which in this case is 3. That's the maximum number of like engines or gadgets that you can have in play. And you have to discard down to that to be able to You'll continue with your turn during the limit phase. And then finally, there's the special power that you have that you can use during your action phase. In this case, like Carrie Winters, she's a Copper Mine agent, so if she discards 3 cards as an action, she can get 1 Rift Orb. That's what that means. Pretty obvious. This little red circle over there means it can only be used once per turn. She can't, like, get a bunch of cards in her hand and then, like, discard 9 cards and get 3 Rift Orbs. She just can, just do that once. So here you have Bel Fiba. She, a 4 and a 4, and she scraps 2 devices. Devices will be part of that those engines or gadgets that you have. And she gets a orb. So, like, and here we have, like, a Silvermine agent discard 2 cards, draw 2 cards, so they replenish their hand. And then finally, here's an Iron Mine agent. Pay 2 resources to get 2 of either the purple or the green resource. You can kind of transmute your resources that you have available to you. So each of these have their bonuses and their negatives, and you do have to kind of adapt your play. So let's just kind of shuffle these up real quick here. I'll just grab one at random. Let's take this one? I got this one. So I got Bel Fiba. Okay, we already talked about her. So she can scrap devices, and she's got a hand size of 4 and a line size of 4 as well. So we're just going to go ahead and put that. Let's just move these down just a little bit so we can put devices as we create them up here. And so each person begins the game with 4 cards, and then like I said, you will discard down to whatever your hand size is on your turn. Alright, so when it is your turn, and you determine the first player however you want to, rock, paper, scissors, pick somebody at random, however you want to do it. And then on your turn, you have an action stage, then you have your limit stage, and then you have your draw stage. And these are all pretty straightforward. During the action stage, you can skip the action stage if you want to, not play any cards or do any actions, and then you can just draw a card for free, or get 2 resources of your choice, and then you just don't get to do any actions. But in this case, let's go ahead and see what 4 cards I got. All right, so we have 2 gadgets, or 2 items or devices. We'll look at those in a second. But these, in the blue background, these are actions. So here we have an assault, or I should say maneuver is what they're called. This is an assault maneuver. The cost of it would cost me 2 of my purple resource to be able to use it, and then up to 2 rivals each choose and scrap 1 device. So if they have devices that they set up and they're using, you can then make them discard those. And obviously if they only have 1, they don't really have a choice. They have to do that. And so the other one I have here, this is just a basic resource maneuver. You play this, and then you get the 2 green resource, and so you just play that and get those. All right, and so then we also then have a Rift Maker. Now, there's a difference between a green device and a red device. Red devices are engines, green devices are gadgets. Red devices, engine devices, stay with you and stick with you from turn to turn, and they have some ability that they can use. And once again, you see that little red circle, meaning that you can use it once. So, and you can't use it when you create it. You have to wait till your next turn. And then same thing goes with gadgets. So, so this one, you can see it costs, this actually worked out pretty well. So we have 2 green, and then we'd be able to get this, and then after we have this in place, we can pay 1 of that lava or red resource to get a Rift Orb. And so we could go ahead, and so what we could do on our turn, because you can play all the cards that you want, you could go ahead and we're going to play this. So let's just move these agents out of the way. So you play that, put it in the discard, and then you get 2, so we're going to go ahead and put that up to 3. And, for the first player, we have no reason to assault anybody, so we're not going to do that. But then we can go ahead and play this one now, because we got those 2, and then we can go ahead and put this engine down. So normally, if you can use them, they're face up, but we're going to put it on side because we just created it, so we know we can't use it, and so we're going to pay the 2 resources that we just got to put that out there. And why not? We can go ahead and because this one, gadgets are a one-shot ability, a one-shot use, but yeah, we can use it any time to draw 2 cards. That's pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and put that out there like so. And and technically, if we wanted to, we could use our special ability right now to scrap both of those devices that we've just made and get a Rift Orb, but we're not gonna do that. So we're going to go out there. So now we have 2 of the 4 line gadgets or engines, so we don't have to worry about that. And we only have one card, so we don't have to worry about that. Now, if I'm not going to take this action, I'm done with my action phase. In the limit phase, if I had more than 4 cards, I'd have to discard down to 4, and if I had more than 4 gadgets, I'd have to discard or get rid of them. Now, you don't, even though her ability is, scrapping devices or whatever, and, to get Rift Orb, she only gets that when she does that action. If you had 6 devices out here and you had to get rid of 2 of them because of this situation, you wouldn't just automatically get one. You actually have to take that action. I mean, obviously the player probably would, but you don't. You have to actually take the action to get the bonus that you have if you happen to have one. So if we had more devices, we'd have to scrap them down, but we don't. And then we're going to go ahead and you get to draw 2 cards at this point. So then you draw phase, you draw 2 cards, everybody just draws 2 at that point. And if you are at your hand limit of 4 or whatever it may be, you draw the 2 cards and it goes back up. So you could have 6 cards in your hand and be higher than your hand size. But so just remember that it's kind of different in a lot of games. Like you discard down to your limit, and then you get to draw 2 cards for your next turn. So let's see. We got another assault maneuver. Looking at another rival's card, and we can one rival discards 1 card of your choice. You get to look at each rival's hand. I apologize. And then here we have a shrapnel bomb. Up to 2 rivals each scrap 1 device of their choice. So we got a lot of attacks going on. So maybe our next round we'll just maybe get resources or draw cards because maybe we don't want to pick a fight right now. But we do have actions that we can do that we won't want to do. So it goes all the way around. Let's just say we're going to go ahead and turn both of these up. Now we got, both of these, we got our 3 cards. We could, like, as I said, skip, take some resources if we wanted to. But, let's just go ahead and we can take our actions. We could, spend the 1, turn that there, and I should have moved this down. It's this. So we get 1 Rift Orb for using that device. And we could also, if we wanted to, we could discard that, because when we discard that, we get to draw 2 cards. Maybe we can get a couple cards that we really want. And so now we got a satellite, utility engine. It allows us to draw 1 extra card every turn. That's pretty good. And then we have another assault thing. You and up to 2 rivals each choose and scrap 1 device. So we're in kind of a situation where, man, I really wish, we had, another resource, so we could go ahead and maybe get this one out there if we had another green, but we don't. So we don't have that option available to us. And maybe if this was a thing we could maybe no, that wouldn't work either because we're not stealing the card, we're making them discard one. So that wouldn't work either. But so you can see, like, you have all these different options and all these different choices and things like that, and you're going to be because now in our limit phase we can't really spend any of these cards, so we're going to have to discard one of these. And we're kind of looking through, seeing which one I don't like. I don't like the fact that I have to scrap a device if I use this too, so I'm going to go ahead and discard that one. So now we're down to 4 again, and then I draw 2 cards. He gave me back up to 6, and then everybody else, would go through with their turn and so forth, and it comes back to me. So once again, you can kind of see, like, a bunch of different cards, a bunch of different ways you can mess with people, a bunch of different ways you can, get resources, spend resources, and I like that. I mean, this game obviously is on the lighter side of these types of games, but this is exactly the type of game I like. I don't have to worry a bunch about, like, making sure I have the right deck or the right cards to fit together, or I don't have to spend a bunch of time crunching some sort of strategy that allows me to play the game better than somebody else. I can just play this game straightforward, have a lot of fun with it, and like I said, my daughter really likes these types of games. She likes figuring out, like, strategies and things like that, and it's been a lot of fun playing this with her and with my family in general. So but let me talk more about Metal Minds in my final thoughts. Oh, there you go. All right, so there you go. That is Metal Minds. As I said, my daughter, if you watch these videos, my daughter is very, very big into head-to-head games with Dad. She really, really enjoys beating me, things like that. She's a very, very good, and I've said this to many people, she's a very, very good Pokemon card player. I finally have beaten her a couple of times. I finally broke that that ofer streak that I had for a while there. I think maybe she took pity on me, but she really enjoys card games, and she really enjoys like kind of reading the text, kind of figuring out what they do. And then there's this wonderful moment when she talks. She's like reading it, and she's like, oh. I mean, I hear that like 9 times in any game that we first start playing, and it's fun, watching the tumblers click together and watching her figure these things out. And she really liked the art. She really liked the fact that there was a lot of attacking going on in the game. And I must be just raising her like me, because that's the kind of thing I like. I want to be able to mess with people. I want to be able to slow people down. I want to be able to just take away their perfect little engines that they've spent their precious resources on, and toss them in the garbage. And it just, I do enjoy just kind of knocking people down and then climbing over them to gain the victory. There is something satisfying about that to me. Now, I mean, I don't take it like it's like, oh, I need to win, but I mean, it's just, I'd rather do that than just build an engine with my cards, if you will. So that appealed to me a great deal in this game. And also, I mean, I do realize that antagonistic card games like this can maybe overstay their welcome, because like the repetitiveness of the attacking and the defending and like trying to set yourself up for the victory or whatever, can get a little bit nauseum, if you will. But this one, the game is really, really quick. The turns play very, very fast, and it's over relatively quickly. I think, even with 4 players, I mean, we were finishing up games of this in about 30 minutes to 40 minutes. It says 60 on here, but I don't think I had a game last an hour with 4 players. And with 2, especially with my daughter and I, we were able to wrap games up in 15, 20 minutes after we had played it a few times. So it is a very, very quick game. It is a very, very brutal game, and it is a very, very fun game. So if you think that's something that you're going to have fun playing, I strongly suggest you check out Metal Minds. If you have any questions about the game, please ask away. I'll be happy to answer those to the best of my ability. As always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. And until next time, I'm the Undead Viking, and I'm telling you to have yourself one heck of an awesome day. All right, bye-bye.